Hi, my name is Kishmar, co-founder and CEO of New Visual Media. We are a full-service media company based in Barbados but operating throughout the region of the Caribbean.
My name is Damien Pinder. I'm the Chief Operations Officer and a co-founder of New Visual Media.
So New Visual Media is a full-service media company. And when we say full service, we really mean full service. We do everything from video production, photography, graphic design, illustrations, web development, whatever you need done, we can get it done. And our philosophy is if we can't physically do it in-house, we find the best professionals in whichever territory we're working in to get it done for you. Because we never say no to clients. We just have to find out who can do it if we can. And we will broker that relationship for our clients. The origin story for New Visual Media is I was studying in Jamaica and I was exposed to entrepreneurship there. I was working for a small startup firm doing video and photography, and it was getting a little too difficult to live in Jamaica. Things weren't working out. So I moved back to Barbados. I called up Damien, who I knew from, we went to high school together. We lived in the same neighborhood. So I called Damien and was like, hey, I started this media company and I want you to do it with me. And he said, okay. And that's how we started. I started putting together the business plan and the business proposal and stuff like that. And we just started shooting stuff together, started like working closer together, just brainstorming ideas of how we could pitch our services to potential clients. And yeah, that was the start. We started with 2 cameras. I had a camera, he had a camera. We had no real large set of equipment, but we had ideas and we had knowledge of what we were doing. I did my undergrad in Jamaica in media and communication, and he was doing film and theater at the Herbara Center for Creative Imagination. So bringing those 2 skill sets together, we were able to launch this company, and here we are now.
It was called New Visual Media because we wanted to do things in a new way. Yeah, it's cheesy, but we want to do things differently, not just produce good stuff, but also make the experience that clients were having to feel, so not only the quality of the end product, but the quality of the experience, the quality of the journey for clients as well. And it just started to take on a life of its own. Client after client kept referring and kept referring. And yeah, so eventually it got to the point where we were having so much work that I actually left my job. And because it just was like, okay, so this is not a hobby. This is a real baby that needs to be taken care of.
I had some experience in running a small business or being a part of a startup company. So I had a little experience in that. So I understood concepts like branding and marketing and how you present yourself. So from the very start, we had a website, we had company shirts to go looking well branded and well represented. So that was that. So we had a look. We wanted to come across very professional at all times, and I was very big on that. So that was one of the things that proved very instrumental to our success. Another thing that was very instrumental to our success was being former journalists. Our first big contract was with Nation News, and we produced news packages for them on a daily basis. And both Damien and I came from a news background. I worked previously at The Nation in sub-editing, and Damien worked at Starcom and also The Nation with Attitude magazine. So we both came from a journalistic background. So our ability to conceptualize very complex subject matter and break it down to a very simple messaging and being able to communicate very well. That was something that has taken New Visual Media beyond the realm of just camera guys or beyond just content creators. We really can communicate and transmit messages and construct messages for clients, and that's something that we've used to kind of set ourselves apart from other people. I would like to say that we were very fortunate when we started out. Because we had relationships, and anyone in business can tell you, relationships are so vital to getting business done in Barbados, or just around the world in general. But relationships can make or break you. So we had good relationships with people, especially at the newspaper, which was our first major contract, and that really set the platform for what the visual media was to become in the future.
So what stands out would have to be a general thing, and that's because most of the stuff that we do are for mainly non-governmental organizations, so NGOs, charities, persons that dealing with sustainable development and the environment. So I always say that we take our business seriously because what we do is serious business. What we do can save people's lives. We've done work for an organization that represents 44 small and developing states and at the level of the UN. So we've had videos which were seen at the United Nations General Assembly. We've done conferences online. This during COVID, we did two. The first one where we would facilitate all the media for this conference. And you had high-level speakers like the head of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations, and a lot of other big organizations. So this is the kind of work that we do. We recently have brought on a client that represents the interests of 177 countries and organizations, and they're based in Washington, DC. So it's very hard to pinpoint any one specific project because they all are served to be impactful.
The end of 2018 was a very difficult time for new visual media. We were doing well, we were kind of ebbing and flowing as the business kind of matured and began to take shape. But the end of 2018 was a very difficult time. The office building that we were in was closing down. We had cash flow issues, so we had to let go of staff and really kind of strip it back down to bare bones, to just myself and Damien and rebuild. So
me and one of the BADC persons we just happened to be on a mission, I don't call it a mission, but a trade trip in the Dominican Republic. So he was saying that, that BADC actually has incubator spaces, and that wasn't the biggest sell per se, but then the support. We were saying about the business support and stuff like that. I thought, okay, so you get space and the business support as well. That sounds pretty good.
So we applied, and thankfully we got through, and we were able to get accepted to the program. And they gave us the options of getting a space, which we gladly took because we were working from home, just remotely at that time. So when they came in and they offered us a space and a lot of guidance and a lot of help and training and stuff like that, we grabbed at the opportunity.
Basically, the program is such that we bring a number of businesses, small businesses, micro businesses, here to the center, or we can work with them outside of the center, and we assist them to grow and develop successfully. So we help them to develop their business models so that once they leave us, their models are pretty much tweaked in such a way that they could grow and develop successfully. Basically, we have a committee which meets who will make a decision as to whether a business is a good fit or not. And the committee heard their presentation, and the committee said, great, come on board. Because we thought that, in so many words, the young men, that's Kishmar and Damien, they made an excellent presentation. It was clear to us that they knew what they were planning to do, where they were going, what they had, what their vision was for their company. And we said, yes, this is a good fit for the program. This is a business that we can work with. This is a business that we believe once it gets out there to the wider public, this business can inspire other people as well. So we said, come on board. So the BADC has been assisting businesses for many years, helping them to grow and develop successfully. And the center is just another manifestation of that, in that we bring businesses here, we give them all the guidance and assistance necessary, and we help them to grow and develop. Now, with New Visual, we made available the space here. As you can see, lovely space, but we give them a shell. So we just give them four walls, a roof, and a door, and we say to them, go create. And individual, they definitely did that.
I hired Junior Seeley, who's a local interior designer here in Barbados. And with him guiding us, we kind of had a vision for what I wanted. I gave him the layout. I told him this is the stuff we have, this is where our shelves have to go, this is where our equipment has to go. And then he, with his creative genius, kind of started pulling accents together and getting plants and doing a lot of the actual building himself. He built this stand here from scratch with some wood, some pipe, and creativity. He built it from scratch. He built a lot of the other things in the office. We painted a lot of stuff. We sanded a lot of stuff. It was a process. It took probably 2 to 3 months to turn the office into a round. You know, we bought a rug. We went all out because we knew that we wanted this office to speak for us, and not just for Damien and I, but for, you know, all the creatives who would come into this space and work. We wanted it to be a collaborative working space where people could come, sit, discuss projects, discuss ideas, and really work together and feel as if they're in a creative space, because the space itself is well decorated and it looks like a creative space.
I love what I did with the space, that's for sure. I love what I did with the space. And I am thinking that going forward, you know, once their clients can see what they have done with their space, and they can also see what the unit would have looked like before, this can only serve them in good stead.
How we've been able to benefit from the relationship with BADC that goes beyond just the space. We've had the opportunity to be a part of like they've had exhibitions, certain places. So we were able to go set up stalls and stuff like that to explain to persons what we do. They have support in terms of legal support. So we've been able to tap into those resources. Also, they have persons who have a wealth of business knowledge. We've only been in existence for 7 years. So there are people who've been doing this and seeing trends way longer than us. So we've been able to access that knowledge pool as well. So there's a lot of little benefits. Also, we've been able to do business with some of the other businesses in here as well. So there is a lot more benefits than just the actual physical space.
Another important thing that I definitely want to touch on from BADC is the funding, access to grant funding and access to funding in general. We've not taken any funding to get this company to where it is today. None at all. We started with our 2 cameras and we grew as we did work. We reinvested in the business and reinvested in the business. But now we're at a stage where we really need funding to be able to take us to that next level, to be able to get the type of equipment that we need. Not just hardware in terms of cameras and stuff to take on set, but also software and platforms and communication devices, servers, that kind of thing, to really be able to operate regionally the way we want to. And I believe that the funding that BADC is going to open up doors for us to access, that is going to be critical in helping the visual media get to 10 years.
Ryan has been a gem, not only in terms of the advice and stuff like that, but in terms of being accessible. Very often, been in setups before where you had persons who were in a similar situation, but they weren't as accessible. Ryan is always an email or a phone call away.
Words of encouragement are, if you can envision it, you can do it. You just have to be dedicated, you have to stick to the task, and you have to be serious about what you're doing and serious about yourself.
It's just a rolling sequence of not disappointing clients. It's really, people complicate it and complicate things. It's just not disappointing clients. Make the experience good, make the end product good, and you keep this thing continues to roll.
Business is about relationships. That's one of the first things. Secondly, so you need to develop good relationships, strong relationships, positive relationships. That's how you get things done. That's the first thing. Secondly, don't think small. And by that I mean, yes, we are on a landmass 166 square miles, but there's absolutely no reason why you can't be offering your service to pretty much everyone else in the Caribbean. There's no reason why you can't be offering your service or even your product to people outside the Caribbean. So don't allow yourself to think it must be Barbados and Barbados alone. No, St. Michael's, St. Philip. No. Think bigger than that. That's 2 things. And 3 things, don't ever give up. You know, you start on a particular path, you want to achieve this. Even if you have a little difficulty in getting there initially, maybe you made a phone call and the person gave you a negative response, you know, they said no for whatever reason, or maybe it is you can't find an answer today, no problem. Keep looking, there's an answer out there for sure.